Quinoa is such a fun grain. And when I imagine my internal conversations with quinoa, it sounds something like, hey, I miss you. I just really want you to know that. And then my quinoa off days are more like, why are you here? What kind of name is quinoa anyway? I really have to be in the mood for it. You can't just substitute my rice with quinoa. But when I am, we go in the kitchen and make magic. Today's recipe is quinoa salad prepped with two different dressings, a lighter version and a smoother, creamier version. That's my sales pitch. I typically forget to share tips like this, but before you tackle such a easy and simple recipe like this one, use and sharpen your best knife. This recipe is mostly vegetables. In this one recipe, you're gonna dice, you're gonna mince, you're gonna julienne, you're gonna shred. When I think back to the times where I didn't like to cook, it was because I would become overwhelmed with the prep process. A great knife changed all that. And if you have those very clean cuts without much struggle, that's going to hold the juices in the vegetables. And your flow in the process will be uninterrupted. So the quinoa, it's really easy to cook. I'm usually treating it like rice ratios and use water or stock to get some more flavor out of it. When using stock though, especially a store-bought one thing you want to be mindful of is the sodium content. You don't want to overdo it with salt in the recipe. Today, I made two different dressings, but it's not to be used at the same time. But my intent was to give you an example of another option. I guess you could if you want. The peanut one, you could use cashews or even tahini or sun butter as a good like nut-free swap. Whatever you use, make sure it's the creamy, separating from the oil, supernatural kind, if you're not making your own at home. Also, eyeball the ingredients. I find roasted peanuts in my peanut butter has like just this huge swing in delightful taste. In either dressing, you could swap the maple for agave or, vice versa. Avocado oil is a nice swap for olive oil, but there's not really a good swap for toasted sesame oil. What I would do is make up the difference of the sesame oil with one of the others, that olive or avocado oil, and then add like a very small amount of liquid smoke in there. Not the same, but it's a pretty good move. Also, coconut aminos can step in for the soy sauce if you're soy free. Last tip I have is to add your dressing into the quinoa right as it cools. This is before everything else gets tossed in. Grains are like a sponge, so the quinoa will soak up all of the dressing. Now, when you add your other ingredients in to bring your salad together, rather than a little bit of dressing here and a little bit of dressing there, it's so much more pleasant as every bite will include some of that dressing. Obviously, it doesn't hurt to add a little bit more on top. For this recipe, head on over to my website, makeitdairyfree.com, where you can also print it, or check out the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, believe in good. Peace.